Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to create this amazing portfolio in Framer with very simple steps, and it's not hard, it's actually very simple. You just have to do a bit of components and variants and you will be good. So it's a very unique and simple, very direct kind of template where you just once everything happens right on the first page. As you can see, it has a very unique animation. When I hover about, it stretches, and then there's a few images and cards are coming up. As you can see, very smooth. Yeah, so let me show you how to do it, and hopefully you can learn something. So if you wish to try this out yourself and follow along as you continue, you can find the remix and the demo in the description and you can easily follow along. So we're going to jump right into Framer, and we're going to, I already have much of the basic setup, the images, the assets that I need, the buttons, and also some of the logo of the page. So as you can see, we have just a normal page where what we are working with is a desktop. As you can see, the desktop part, we have the navigation, which is outside this. Then we have the main wrap. So I started by having the main wrap, which is the one that actually fills the whole page and then with a height of the viewport. So this is the main wrap, or you can say the main container of the page. Then inside it we have now the content container, where actually we have the content which is placed inside, and the content includes the logo, it includes the stack, and then it also includes the bottom information, which has the button, the email button, and the disclaimer headline or description. So we're going to start simply by creating this what I will show you here. We're going to start by creating these images, the ones that actually comes outside, so that we can place everything inside, and then we can, yeah, just let's continue and you'll see what I'm doing. So I'll just come here and drag these elements here. So we have the first one is this. I'm just going to come and drag this inside, which is this is the one that is the work image, the image of the work. We have which is wrapped in a frame. So I'm just going to press Ctrl X, and I'm going to come here and paste it inside the content container into Ctrl V, and that is if you're using Windows. So then I just need to I need to change these to absolute, and then I need to adjust the positioning so that it fits right in the center, as you can see. And now we have something to work on. As you can see, this is above our card, which is this, so we want to take it a little bit back. So I'm going to give a z-index of 1 so that it's just behind our card, and then so this is the first idea. So the idea is, once we hover here, this sort of frame will come into view. And so we'll do the next thing. We're going to now do the same thing for services, about, and plans. So we're going to come here and take this as the services section, which I already prepared before. As you can see, it's just a stack with 3 cards showing the services that they provide. So I'm just going to click here again, Ctrl X. I'm going to drag it here into the main content frame, and I'm going to do Ctrl V, and then I'm going to change again the positioning to absolute, and then I'm just going to drag it just a little bit down like there, and then I'm going to make sure that, as you can see, we have the email actually coming in front, so we need to take this just above this card, this email and the book call. So we're going to come here and press the Z index to it, and then as you can see now it goes behind it, because once we hover the services, we cannot see what is behind, we cannot see the button, we're only seeing services. So then we're going to do the same for the about. So we're going to come here and take Control X and then paste it inside, and then we're going to do that, Control V, and then again absolute positioning, then we're going to drag it down. This is now very similar to it's just going to be somewhere here, but we also want to give this a sense of Z index positioning so that it covers the text that is behind. So we're going to come here and put a Z index, which is good. Then we're going to do the same thing for plants, and we're going to take Control X, paste it in the content container, Control V, put absolute positioning, and then I'm going to drag this, I'm going to drag the plants, I'm going to drag it outside so that it comes to this other page. I'm going to take it this side, then I'll put it above. It's easier to move around. Yeah, that's perfect. So we have now the plant section, and we already have the first step is to just make sure everything is in place. To the elements that we added this, which is this and this. So we're going to grab this and this, and then we're going to place them into a frame, and then actually we're going to position this frame into absolute, and then we're going to just position it into the center and center the middle of the page, right, like that. So the reason we're doing this, it's going to make sense when we continue, but it's mostly because we want to be able to tweak the whole elements together. So let's continue as where we left off. So to create a component, you can just right click again, create component, and then create. And so now we have a frame here. So this is a frame where we have all elements, the visible element. Let's name it visible elements. Okay, so that they come and go. So we're going to make sure we kill the opacity here, so that we can basically replicate the first page like this one. And so once we do that, we're going to come here and create a different variant. We're going to come here and create a variant here where we're going to now, so we assume the first variant, this is now the about the work. So once we hover on the work, we're going to have the elements popping out. So let's call it the work variant. So here we come now to the visible elements. We make sure we have opacity to visible, but now we're going to make sure everything here that is not work is set to not visible. So I'm just going to click there and I'm going to say hide, so that now we can only see what is here. Again, we're going to make sure that the visible elements has a Z index, that it just goes right below, as you can see, so it goes right below the card stack. So we're going to do the same for services, about, and plants. So we have something here. Perfect. So we now want to actually animate this thing. So we want to make sure that when we hover here, we change to this variant work, and then when we hover services, we change to this variant, and then when we hover on the about, we change to the about, and then when we hover to plans, we change to this variant. Very simple. So how do we do that? So we're going to come here and click this first page. We come to the stack, and then we're going to click the stack area, and then you're going to click the card. So as you can see, we have a card here which already has hover. I already did this actually. So we can just come here, and let me just kill this first so that you guys can understand what we are doing. Yeah. We'll just remove all of the interactions first so I can show you guys what we have. So as you can see, nothing is happening. This is the first variant. So let's go back. So we had created a stack, and the stack, the whole card stack had different cards. So we just need to add interactions to each card. So we come here and hold this, and then hold L on our keyboard, and then drag it to work. And then we're going to put interaction is mouse enter, and then we're going to add another interaction, which is a new event, a new interaction, so that when mouse leave, we can actually set it to back to variant 1. So let me show you guys what we've done. So when mouse enters here, it's not working. I don't know why. Why is this not working? Let's see. Perhaps it's because we have this set to let's z index. So now perfect. You see, when we hover here, it comes. The reason was because our container, our element container, was actually placed high above this card stack. So we were actually hovering on the elements container, not the card, which we're supposed to be hovering on the card. As you can see, when I hover here, it comes about, as you can see, very nicely. So we're going to do the same for everyone, and then we're going to come back. Yeah, so now we have something. As you can see, when you hover here, it comes. When you hover here, it comes about. Oops, we still have this thing here coming up. So we just need to make sure we clean this up, which is very simple. We just need to come here and the surfaces section, and then we just need to come here to the bottom of the area and just kill the opacity like that, and then can do the same for here, the bottom, kill the opacity, and the same for here. We are just going to the bottom, we're going to not kill the opacity but just show it. So as you can see, once we come and hover, we have something here. We can see when we mouse enter services, there's a pop. When we enter about, there's a pop, and then the plants comes in nicely. So we can change the transition so it's a bit smooth. Just come here and change the transition. Change it to, let's put 240, and maybe, yeah, that's smooth enough. As you can see, it comes now very smoothly, very nice. Although we need to minimize the damping a bit, maybe put it at 30, rather 60 is good, 80 is good, so we can have something very smooth. Yeah, that's much better, much better, much better. but I still feel we need to just return the dampen to 60. I think big, nothing much. So now we have to the point where we can see when we hover inside, the cards come up. When we hover inside here, we have a different card there. When we hover here, we have the card here. When we hover here, we have it. So, but now we still have to do something else. We need to make sure once we hover inside, the card stretches out. How do we do that? Let me show you. So if you come back to our project and then we zoom in, so we want to actually make sure this card stack animates as we hover. Yeah, so I'm going to show you how when we hover we can actually stretch the card and then it stretches the other cards. So this is simply, as you can see here, when I hover inside, it kind of squeezes the other cards outside. And the same thing with this one and this one and then this one. And notice it grows on the left side, this one grows on the right side, this one grows on the right side, also this one on the right side. Okay, so let's do it. So we come here and then we want to create a variant. So as you can see, the first card has a width of 168. The other cards also have a width of 168, but actually this should be fill, should be 168. So what we want is, we want to, when we hover, we have like an increase in the size. So what we do, we now need to put it to fixed, then we put like something like to 20, which actually squeezes the rest. And then we're going to do the same for the other cards. So we return these to fill. We do the same here for 220. And we do the same here. We actually return these to fill. We do the same for this one, we call it 220. Then we do the same for the last final card. Amazing, perfect. So now we have nice effect or variants. So now it's just about linking them together so that we can have the effect. So again, we come here and take the first one. So we want, when you hover inside, it's going to change to the second variant. So when mouse enters, it's going to change to the second variant. And then we also want, when the mouse leaves, we also have it returns back to its original variant. So we create a new transition. So when the mouse leaves, we go back to variant 1. We're going to do the same for this one, actually not that one, but this one. We're going to add here a new transition event. So when mouse enter, we go to variant 3, yeah, go to variant 3, and then the same idea, when the mouse new transition, when the mouse leaves, we go to variant 1, and then we do the same for this one. New transition, when the mouse enters, we go to variant 4, and then when the mouse leaves, we go to variant 1. Then we do the same here. When the mouse enter, we go to variant 5, and then when the mouse transition, when the mouse leaves, we go back to the first variant. So we can preview it and then we'll see what happens. So you can see, when my mouse enters, it stretches. Then again, when mouse enters here, it stretches. When it leaves, it goes back to its original size. And then we do the same here. Actually, we have a slight problem here. Mouse leave doesn't return it, but here it comes very nicely. So we go back when you're designing in Framer, you might find that you've missed something. So that's when you need to go back and check it. So like here, I can see this one, we didn't set mouse leave. We put tab. This is the problem. So I'm just going to move it outside, and then I'm going to put new transition, and then mouse leave. We're going to set it to variant 1. So let's go back and check it. Perfect. Now everything is good and neat and tidy. So if you're finding it hard to understand what I'm trying to do here, I recommend you check some tutorials on YouTube, good tutorials, and especially beginner type tutorials. You can also check Framer list of tutorials, and you're going to learn a lot. So let's go back now to our main container. As you can see, when we now hover here, it kind of nicely goes in effect. Same thing with here, same thing with here, same thing with here. Very nice, very smooth transition, very nice transition. So yeah, I think that's it. When we go now to the home page, when we view it, we can see when we hover here, we have a nice effect. And then when we hover services, we also have a nice effect in the bottom. And also the cards just squeeze in a very good and clean way. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, please ask me. I'm always ready to answer and look at your questions, and I hope you learned something. My name, once again, I didn't tell you my name, but my name is Joe, and this is Framer Dive, and I'm here to help you navigate your Framer career, and also anything that I come along, I'll share with you. I'll teach you what I learn, and I hope you learn something, and see you in the next video.